If you're watching this video, then I'm sure you're about to start building a personal brand or you're interested in building a personal brand. Last year, I decided to start taking my personal brand seriously. And in 12 months, I posted about 216 times on LinkedIn. And these are the results and also my learnings. Like if I have to start over again based on the things I've learned over that time period, this is what I will do. This is going to be a very short video. I'm going to get straight to it. I'm not going to take your time at all. So the first things we want to talk about is figure out your why. This might sound like fluff, but I think that sometimes when people don't really know why they want to do what they're about to do, that's why you get to a point where you start to maybe feel like you're not motivated, you're kind of tired of this, maybe you're not seeing the kind of results you want to see, and so on and so forth. I think that when you figure out your why do you want to do this? When you have that question answered and articulated in some kind of a statement or a thought or whatever, I think it plays a major role in helping you stick to the plan in terms of what you want to do regarding building a personal brand. So for me, is that figure out what your why, figure out your why, because the journey of building a personal brand sometimes can be daunting, sometimes can you may not be motivated on some days and so on and so forth. But when you have a very strong why, you find strength, you find motivation to continue to push that on. I mean, but that's just for me. I think that, if you figure out what your why is, it will go a long way to help you do this for the long term. The next thing I want to talk about is no one cares. Now, I've heard of people talk about this, and I completely agree. Especially when you're starting out, don't get bugged out by how am I going to look on camera? I think this is my third video on YouTube. I know that it's not perfect. I know it's not great, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I think the last two videos, one got 8 views, one got 14 views or something. I can't remember, and people just maybe watch it and I just keep it moving. Nobody really cares, especially when you are starting out. Maybe when you get bigger, maybe 1 million followers or something, then maybe you might find a few people who are now pretty particular about the kind of content or the quality or whatever you put out. But at the beginning of your journey, nobody cares. So I want to encourage you for now, just start. Start. Don't get bogged out by, oh, I need to do this, oh, I need to do that. Nah, don't. I need to get a camera. I'm recording this on my Mac Pro and I'm using the camera. I like doing slides. I've been doing slides for probably about 12 years now in terms of my daily work, what I do daily. So it's an easier format for me to put together my thoughts in these slides and do this presentation this way. So I don't want to get bogged down by this, whatever. It's just start and start. And some people say just press record. Get this to the point. Because again, like I said, nobody cares. The next thing is outputs over outcomes. Now, the temptation when you are attempting to build a personal brand is to focus on like this big audacious goals, like we say big, hairy, audacious goals. But it's that, this goal of, I want to hit 100,000 followers. I want to hit 1 million subscribers. That is that is the wrong way to go about this. What you should be doing is focusing on the outputs. So, for example, for me with this YouTube channel, I told myself that I was going to put out 2 videos per week, one on Tuesday, one on Friday. Now I'm challenging myself to do three a week, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, and one on Friday. And that's what I'm focusing on. Just showing up and doing this 3 videos a week consistently for as long as whatever. Do you get what I mean? Because I know that if I get my output done, the outcome of X number of subscribers or X number of followers is a consequence of me really putting in these reps and getting my output done. So for you as well, you have to figure out what that is, whether it's for LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever platform. Okay, I want to post once a day. For LinkedIn, for example, that's what I did. I decided I was going to post once a day throughout the year, 2024. Did I miss some days? Yes, but I didn't really sweat it. I just like, you know what? I missed these days. Obviously, I went hard on myself, like, no, you shouldn't miss that. But then again, picked myself up and kept, doing my reps, my output, one post a day, and kept doing that, kept doing that. And in the course of 12 months, I mean, added about 6,000 new followers to my following on LinkedIn. So I'm on YouTube now and I'm about to do the same thing, same reps, focus on the outputs, not the outcomes. I don't say too much about this, but you get the point. Like don't get hung up on, oh, I want to, 1 million followers, 100,000 subscribers. Nah, just focus on the reps. One video a day or 2 videos a week or 3 posts a week, whatever it is, focus on those reps and just keep putting them in. And the results, will speak for themselves. Now we get into like the what I call the personal branding content structure. Now here I have a framework that I use called Hero Hub and Hygiene. It's something I borrowed from something else, but never mind about that. I just kind of put my own twist on it. When it comes to Hero Hub Hygiene framework, I think the first thing is on the hero side is that you want to develop content that speaks to your personal experience. I mean, if you've not been listening to this video up until this point, this is where you now need to listen because now we're getting into it, and I hope I'm able to do justice to this. But the point is, on the hero for the hero content, what you want to do is you want to capture as much as possible your personal experiences and your professional experiences. These are opportunities for people to know the real you. And that's what really matters. People want to know you, or your values, the things you believe in, things you're passionate about, all of those things, and also your professional experience as well. All of this works great in terms of when you tell people about some of the things you've done, some of the things you've experienced. But even better is when you take them on this journey with you. And I'll give you an example. Some months ago, I got invited to host the Diary of a CMO, which is my podcast. You can check out the link in the description at an event at a conference, at the marketing conference or advertising conference. And from the moment I was called, from the moment the chairman of the planning committee called me to put this together and discuss, I started talking about it on my platform on LinkedIn. Having coming to an understanding with the planning committee of the conference, excuse me, selecting speakers, topics, questions, all of these things. I kind of took my audience along that journey with me, even to the event itself, talking about the event, what went down, so on and so forth. It really plays a major role and it gets people to resonate with you on a deeper level and know you more. And as you do this consistently, you see the outcome. Number two is Hub, which is an episodic content series. I think that it's an episodic and formatted series where you have. It's like for me, that's what Diary of a CMO is. Diary of a CMO is a podcast where I talk to CMOs, marketing leaders, and business leaders all across the continent of Africa and the rest of the world. And I bring on these CMOs and I talk to them about different things. That's my episodic content. And what you want to do with this is that you want to create some kind of like an editorial voice with it, and you have to have your own distinct style. In another video, I'll talk more about Diary of a CMO and how you can really, how I'm thinking about like this hub content side of trying to build my content structure and go into great detail there. But I think that this one is great because it gives your audience something to look forward to. They know that on this day of the week or on this day of the month, you're going to put out a new episode, you're going to put out a new newsletter, you're going to put out a new whatever it is. I think that this also plays a very big role. And thinking about what format, thinking about the direction you want to take it, it's a different conversation entirely. But this is the second piece of the content structure for me. Number three is hygiene, which is evergreen. This is where I start to tell people. This is more educational information. It's more educational. It's more like this is me now teaching the audience the things that I know. And you can weave all of these things together while I'm teaching or educating my audience on certain concepts or principles within the industry. I can also layer that on the hero as well, where I can use personal experiences to drive home the point better. This is really, really important to kind of weave your content structure together as a whole, because now imagine that nowadays there's a lot of chat GPT stuff, and it's very, very important that even as you're doing these educational content, anybody can go somewhere and just go and pick up definitions, right? But when you do it this way by weaving this sort of personal experiences into it, that's how you kind of stand out from the rest. So that's my sort of my content structure. There's a lot more people. There's a lot more things people do, but for me, for now, this is kind of how I am approaching it, and it's been working for me so far. And as I start to wind this down, I think once you figure out your content structure, it's also that you need to figure out your cadence. What works best for me is like first thing in the morning, 8 a.m. Before I get into my day, that's when I kind of sit down, take my content calendar and kind of type out my post for the day, type in different things and make sure that everything is in order. So you need to figure out what works for you. For some people, it's late nights. For some people, Just figure out what works for you and stick to it. And finally, is consistency. Without consistency, it's unlikely that you'll be able to do it successfully. So I want to encourage you, be consistent and make sure that, as much as possible, you're sticking to whatever cadence or rhythm or calendar you want to go with, whether it's once a day or 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever it is, just make sure that you're consistent and you keep putting in the reps. So that's all from me. Those are some of the lessons I have learned after posting over 200 times on LinkedIn. And by the way, this is a part of a bigger presentation that I posted earlier. I'll leave the link in the description, so you can check that out, where I was talking about if you are looking to grow your professional career, one of the things that you need to do is personal branding. But I talked about some other things as well in that video, so you can check that out because I believe it's going to be valuable to you. So that's all, guys. I hope that this has been useful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.